Hi, this is Jenny Schuck. This is an intermediate yoga class. Best if you have some experience for this one. Soon I'll be taping some basics and advanced basics classes. I call this a level 2 or intermediate. Best if you have some experience to do this one. I call this particular yoga sequence Heroes Stretch Their Quads, or Finding Balance in Virasana. Virasana is hero pose, the kneeling pose where the feet come to the outsides of the hips, all right? And you could always be sitting up on a block or two for this pose. All right, we're not gonna start with that though. That's gonna be our big pinnacle pose. We're gonna start with a little bit of settling. So come on down onto your back. And first take the knees into the chest. Now if you normally have the knees out to the side, see if you can bring them together. And then if you can reach down toward your ankles, hold there, otherwise up on your shins, and then move those feet out toward the outer hip, so they're sort of in line with the outer hip. It's okay if the knees come away from the chest. Knees together, ankles out to the side a little bit. Use your hamstrings, the muscles on the backs of your thighs, to pull your heels toward your bum. And then bring the feet together and down to the ground. Lengthen the legs out into Savasana and take a little rest down here. Let yourself settle. Let the arms and the legs drop down. The breath drop down. Let the belly be soft. Bring the attention to the center of the forehead skin. Imagine that center of the forehead getting a little massage, and that massage sending out ripples of release across the forehead, and up to the crown of the head. And down past the eyes, the cheekbones, the chin. Draw that spot of attention now from the center of the forehead down the bridge of the nose, over the bow of the lip, and the chin, and the throat, softening the throat as you travel down. Travel down past the notch at the center of the collarbone, down the center of the chest, the breastbone or sternum. And then let waves of release come from the sternum out through the front ribs, from the center of the front ribs out to the sides. Eyes are soft and laying down in the eye sockets as those waves of release travel from the sternum out the ribs to the side body. Now watch the breath coming into the chest. The inhale, expanding those ribs out to the sides so that the rib cage as a whole gets larger. As you exhale, concentrate on softening the solar plexus. Soft concentration. Nothing that's going to make the brain grip, the eyes grip, the jaw grip, but a soft concentration on softening the belly. So as you inhale, you watch the rib cage expand. And as you exhale, you watch the belly soften. Now bring the attention from the soft belly up the sternum, center of the chest, up through the notch at the center of the collarbone, up the soft throat, over the chin, the bow of the lip, the bridge of the nose, traveling between the eyebrows, back to the center of the forehead. And those ripples of release continuing to emanate from that spot. Mindfully and gently bend your knees and place your feet on the ground. Take your right arm overhead, turn to your right side, and use your palms to press you up. Come on to all fours. Setting up for cat-cow here. Shoulders directly over the wrists, knees directly below the hips. There's space between the knees because they're hip width. On an inhale, bring the chest forward and up to cow pose. Exhale, round the spine to cat pose. Feel the shoulder blades coming broad across the back. Inhale, cow pose, chest forward and up. Exhale, cat pose, round the spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep following your breath. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. For this next exercise, I'm going to use the bolster. If you don't have a bolster, just do the same exercise on the floor. So I'm going to set this bolster up long on my mat. All right. I'm going to set where the two sides of the rib cage meet, just below the chest. I'm going to set on the front edge of the bolster. So right there on the front edge. Forehead down on the ground, legs a little wider than the hips if your bolster's wide, because then that'll just give your legs some space. And then the palms face down next to you, down by the hips. You can do this on the floor if you don't have the bolster, again. On an inhale, bring the chest up just to the bolster height, and then come all the way up, lifting the shoulders, and come down. Inhale, the head lifts, the chest lifts, the upper back, middle back, and low back work, and then the shoulders lift. And exhale down. Inhale, head, upper back, middle back, lower back, shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Two more of these. Legs are parallel. Watch you don't turn them out like that as you rise up. One more here. And down. Okay. Place that bolster aside. This is a Bhuja Padasana leg lift. All right. I'm going to come onto sort of into a long Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose. I'm going to start with the hands behind me. And so my heels are lifted off the ground, and I'm going to lift the right leg just straight up from that position and tap the toe down and up and down, up and down. You don't have to connect to breath here. Just a normal, steady breath. We're doing 15, that's 14, and 15. Left side, and up. I'll show you this from the front, up. I'm not mirroring you, this is my left side. That's 10, we're going to 15. Probably feel this in the quad and the adductor. And 15. Okay. We're going to come into the cow pose again. Bring the chest forward and up. All right. Low back is still broad, right? I'm not just dumping into the low back. Low back is still broad. All right. I'm going to walk the hands forward a few inches on the mat and come into down dog. All right, so if you're a little tighter in the hamstrings, if you're really feeling a lot of sensation here, bend the knees. Bend the knees. We're working length of the spine. We can work hamstring length in other poses that are a little bit safer to work hamstring length. Right now we're working length of the spine. If the hamstrings aren't bothering you, go ahead and lengthen the legs all the way. Making sure not to lock out your knees, right? So how do you check to make sure you're not locking out your knees? Well, you bend your knees a little bit, and then instead of pushing the knees back to straighten the leg, you put distance between the hip and the ankle. So I just put as much distance as I can between the hip and the ankle. And sometimes that doesn't feel straight if we're used to hyperextending. But you can tell visually and through sensation if that's your longest leg. Because a hyperextended leg is not the longest leg, it's just bent the other way. Come forward to plank. You're going to set the shoulders slightly in front of the wrists and press through the heels. For any of the plank and chaturanga work, you can take the knees down to the ground and flip the feet over like that. All right. I'm pressing through the heels, the thighs are buoyant, and I'm pulling in the outer sides of the waist, pulling up the very low pit of the abdomen. Like Barbara Benoff says, as though you would lift both legs up off the ground, as though you're initiating that movement. And go back to down dog. Again to plank. And back to down dog. To plank, space between the shoulder blades, right? So not collapsing into the shoulder blades, but space between the shoulder blades. If you need, bring your knees down here. We're gonna lower down to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. The elbows are pulling in, pulling in, pulling in as I come all the way down to the mat. Inhale to low cobra. The thumbs are by the low ribs here. Legs are hip width. And exhale down. Inhale, low cobra. Elbows in. Exhale down. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale down. Down dog. Let's do a little stretch. Come high on the balls of the feet. Bend the knees deeply. Heels toward the ground to lengthen the legs. Again, high on the balls of the feet. Bend the knees deeply. Heels toward the ground to lengthen the legs. Let's do that again. Work out those Achilles tendons and calves. When you spread your baby toe, you may feel more stretch in the calf, maybe even in the sides of the shins, those muscles, peroneals. And come forward to the plank, broad between the shoulder blades. If you need, bring the knees down. Inhale. Exhale, pulling the sides of the waist in, lower down, lower down, lower down. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale down. Sphinx. So now we're up on the forearms. Elbows beneath the shoulders. Elbows shoulder width and wrists shoulder width. The top of the sternum is drawing up toward the top of the neck. And the bottom of the sternum is drawing down toward the front of the pelvis. The outer ankles are long. See if you can feel your big toe reaching back behind you. And come down to the ground. So for any of the low cobras, the upward facing dogs in the sun salutations, you are welcome to take low cobra, okay? So it really just depends on how that feels to you, all right? So I'm gonna start in low cobra here. And if that's enough for you, you stay there. Otherwise, come on up to upward facing dog, where the shoulder is directly over the wrist. The knees are off the ground, the legs are hip width or slightly wider. It's as though there's a block between my thighs and I'm lightly squeezing that block here. And I'm gonna lift the top of the chest and collarbone up toward the crown of the head and the sky. I'm looking straight forward here for now. And I'm going to come to down dog. You're welcome to flip the feet or however you like to do. Okay, walk forward, feet to the hands. Fold over the legs. Spread the toes. Bend your knees, hands on your hips, and come on up to Tadasana. Stand into Tadasana. Feet can be together or hip width. Bring your weight now into the center of the heel. All right. From the center of the heel, lengthen up the backs of the legs and the back waist and the back of the ribs and the back of the head. And as you get that length in the back, soften the front. The palms can either face you or face front. Gaze or drishti is soft. We're coming into our 5 sun salutations A. Ground down through the center of the heel. On an inhale, raise the arms up, looking up at the hands. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk to plank. If you need, bring the knees down. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, coming halfway down if you're doing up dog. Inhale to upward facing dog. Now the gaze is either forward or you bring the head up, but the gaze is still coming over the nose. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths in down dog. Inhale. Bottom of the exhale, walk or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, this time option to jump. Exhale, walk or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Bottom of the exhale, walk or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Bottom of the exhale, walk or jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Bottom of the exhale, walk or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Hands at heart center. Drishti over the fingertips. Take a wide stance, facing your right side. Turn your right leg out 90 degrees. Turn your left leg in 45 degrees. And lunge into that front leg, the right leg. Now take the right hand down to the ground for extended side angle, or you can take this forearm to the thigh, left arm overhead, and then you can go to block or floor. All right. Put a good amount of weight in the left leg, the back leg. Lengthen, feel the length coming up the left side, and then turn your right ribs under, left ribs up. Take that left arm back toward the left leg. Inhale, come on up. Turn the legs parallel. Turn the left leg out 90 degrees, right leg in 45. Lunge into the left leg, making sure the left knee is coming out over the little toes and working that thigh toward parallel to the ground. Take the left forearm onto the thigh, right arm up. If that feels good, take the arm overhead. And if there's more room, take the left hand down to a block or the floor. We're making sure the knee stays over the ankle the whole time. Make sure you're not overarching in the back. Pull the belly in toward the back. Not in a tighten your abs sort of way, but in a actual move the body sort of way. Right ribs under, left ribs up. Do your best to ground your outer right foot. Take the right arm back toward the right leg. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet parallel. Turn the right leg out again, left leg in. We're heel to arch aligned for these. Lunge into the right leg, this time coming into Warrior Two. Arms out to the sides. Hips are turned enough that this knee can come out over the little toes. And then it's the ribs that turn to face the side, not the hips. I like to land the wrists a little higher than the shoulders. And then the chin lifts and the head tilts a little bit to the right. On the inhale, come up and turn the feet parallel. Turn the left leg out, the right leg in, lunge Warrior Two. Knee directly over ankle. This thigh pressing back. And then lift the chin and tilt the head. Inhale, come up and turn the feet parallel. Bring the feet together, either shimmy or hop the feet together, and come to the front of the mat for Sun B. Stand in Tadasana. On an inhale, swing the arms forward and up to Utkatasana, chair pose, broad low back here. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk or jump, Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward, come high on the balls of the feet. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down to the ground, and now you're heel to heel aligned on your mat, or even wider. I like to go a little wider, to hip width maybe. Inhale, bring the arms forward and up to Warrior One. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward high in the balls of the feet. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Spin the heel down and get your, your width that you like. Inhale, warrior one. Deep lunge to the front leg. Exhale, chaturanga. And flow on through to down dog. Inhale. Bottom of the exhale, walker jump. Feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Hands at heart center. Fold forward. Bend the knees and take the left leg back to a lunge. Bring the left knee down to the ground. Now bring your right hand to your right thigh. You can use a blanket for padding underneath that left knee if you need. Bring your right hand to your right thigh and turn to look at your right hip. So you're doing a little bit of a twist and a little bit of a side bend to look at that right hip. Then take both hands down inside the left leg and kind of slump over onto those hands. I'll show you this from the front. Slumping over onto those hands. And bring that leg back to all fours. Bring the left leg forward. Left hand on the left thigh and turn to look at the left hip. And the war begins outside. Then both hands on the inside of the left foot and slump over. You can use blocks underneath these hands if you need. I highly recommend use of all props. And come back to down dog. Come high on the balls of the feet and look forward at the hands. Bring the left leg in between the hands, the left foot in between the hands. Bring the right hand a little closer to the left foot, maybe even on the other side of the left foot. It really depends on your comfortability with balance here, like what makes you feel the most balanced. And then we're going to turn open to the left into a revolved lunge. You don't have to bind, but turn over to the revolved lunge. Press through that right heel. Keep the right thigh buoyant. And bring that down. Step back to down dog. Bring the right foot forward. Left hand comes a little closer to the right foot, if not on the other side. And bring the right arm up. Press through that back heel. Make the left thigh buoyant. And bring that hand down. Go back to down dog. Walk the feet forward to the hands, bend the knees, hands on hips, and come through a flat back to stand. Now the name of the class was Heroes Stretch Their Quads, right? So we're going to do that. So we're going to bring you can always use a wall here. Bring the right foot up. The knees are almost together, and the right foot is aiming toward the outer right hip. Okay? You see that from the front here. Right foot aiming toward outer right hip, so rather than directly behind outer right hip. Okay? And you can use the wall here if you want or need. All right. Try not to arch the low back too much. Draw the tailbone downward toward the ground and the knees, like I said, almost together. And if you like, you can take that left arm up. A little dancer pose. Work to bring that right heel closer and closer toward the outer right hip. And release. Left side. Bring the left leg up. Knees almost together. Left heel toward outer left hip. And the right arm either on the wall, alongside you, or up. And work to bring that left heel toward the outer left hip. And release. Fold forward and bend the knees, look forward. Take the right leg back to a lunge and the right knee down to the ground. Again, you can use a blanket underneath this knee for padding. I'm in a low Anjaneyasana here, and then I'm going to lengthen the front leg any amount the front of the foot lifts into a runner's stretch. And then come forward to lunge, back to runner's stretch. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. And stay here, folding over that left leg. Take the lunge again, bring the back knee off the ground and step forward, lifting the chest. Take the left leg back. Left knee down to the ground, take an inhale first. Exhale, runner stretch. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And keep tick-tocking through these positions. Come back into the lunge and step forward. Take the right leg back into the Anjaneyasana again. Now, you can, we're going to bring the hands up onto the left thigh. You can have the hands on blocks as well. Right. And then you can stay here or bend that right leg and pull the right foot again toward the outer right hip like we did in Little Dancer. Now firm your outer left hip in as it wants to swing out to the side. Pull that in. Release this leg and inhale the arms up to Anjaneyasana and exhale the hands down. Stepping forward again, long spine, left leg back, knee down. Feet are hip width, or legs are hip width. Hands up on the right thigh or on blocks. Stay here or bend the left, hold the left foot, and pull that left foot toward the outer left hip. Firming in the outer right hip. Release that leg down. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down to down dog. Come down to the knees and out onto the belly. Forehead to the ground and palms face down by the hips. On an inhale, lift the chest up. And on the next inhale, lift the legs up. So the legs are hip width. And if you like, you can lift the arms up here too. Locust pose, Savasana. Broad collarbone. Inner thighs are lifting toward the sky, so we're not turned out here. Legs are just behind the hips or slightly wider. Imagine there's a block between the thighs and you're lightly squeezing that block. Take one more inhale and exhale, come down. Take the hands by the low ribs. Come to a low cobra. And if you like, up to an upward facing dog. Shoulders directly over the wrists. Long outer ankles. Slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Prop up into Sphinx here, but angle your left forearm at a diagonal in front of you. Legs are behind the hips. You're going to bend the right leg and reach back. Hold your right foot. All right. And this time, instead of bringing the foot closer to the hip, we're going to kick it away. So the arm is straight, the right foot's moving away from you. And you're still trying to turn the ribs to face the front. Ardha Dhanurasana, half bow pose. Release that leg, angle the right arm in front of you, bend the left knee, reach back with the left arm, reach the left knee back and up, and release. Come down and place your forehead on the backs of your hands. Keep your legs on the ground and wobble your hips side to side, releasing anything in the low back. Place the hands now for low cobra. We're going to go into upward facing dog, but you can take low cobra if you prefer. On the inhale, come up, upward facing dog. Top of the sternum draws up. Collarbone lifts, shoulders go back. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Bring your left foot a little bit toward the center of the mat, maybe an inch or two inward, and take the right leg up to the sky for a three-legged dog. Really reach through that right tippy toe or ball of the foot, let's say, and keep the front body in down dog, and let the spine be long, no back bend, neutral spine, broad low back. Bring the right leg down, move it in about an inch toward the center of the mat, and lift the left leg up. Pressing through the left ball of the foot, trying to create a neutral spine. Down dog. Come down to the knees and bring the legs around in front of you into Dandasana. Now we're going to rock onto the left hip and bring the right leg back to a Virasana leg. And then bring that leg forward. Then bring it back. And notice how this feels in the right thigh, the front of the thigh. Last one here. I'll show you the left side from the front. I'm not mirroring. This is left side. It's going to go back. Rocking onto the right hip. If you need a little more space, you can sit up on a blanket or a bolster on this right hip. Back into Dandasana. Now, we're going to come into Virasana. So you can be on a block, stack of books, whatever gives you a little bit of height, or a blanket, or you can be directly on the floor. I'll show you on the block. Gonna sit with my knees either together or almost together, and come forward. Place the hands behind the knee and push the back of the knee forward toward the front of the knee. It'll give you a little deeper knee bend. Then take the calves and move them back toward the ankles, and then sit down. All right. These feet are toward the outer hips. Virasana. Now, for a moment, push the tops of the feet down into the ground. You feel your quads working. So as though you would sit up. And then pull the heels up toward the bum, pulling the bum down onto the block. You feel the hamstrings working. And then find some place right between those two of activated quads and activated hamstrings. And there's your balanced Virasana. I'll show you this from the front as well. I'll show you if you're sitting on the ground. Outer ankles are long. No sickled feet. Interlace your fingers and press your palms forward, then bring the arms up overhead, palms facing the sky. You can bring those arms back without pushing your ribs forward. Bring the arms down in front of you. Take a lotus mudra, so you've got the edges of the pinkies together and the edges of the thumbs together, and the rest of the fingers are spread. This is the lotus mudra. The lotus flower grows out of the mud. I would say like a hero. I think that's a common theme in hero stories, is that they come from nothing. They come out of the muck. And this beautiful lotus flower also grows out of the mud. And so we honor that with our hero pose today, Virasana. Bring the hands down and come into down dog. Come down to your knees, bring your legs around in front of you, come onto your back. Constructive rest. Now take your left ankle over your right thigh, making a figure 4 for flipped pigeon. Bring this right knee toward the right shoulder. Reach through the figure 4 with your left hand and take your right hand as well. You can take the back of your right thigh or the front of the right shin and pull the right knee toward the right shoulder. We're keeping this left foot flexed. And gently move the left knee away from the left shoulder. Bring those feet down to the ground. I'll show you this one from this angle. Right thigh, right ankle over the left thigh, and bring the left knee in toward the left shoulder, holding either the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. Make sure that that right ankle clears the left thigh. And you can even employ your upper right arm to push the right thigh forward just a hair. Firm your outer left hip in. There's a tendency for it to swing out to the side. And back into your constructive rest. Bring the right knee into the chest, lengthen the left leg along the ground, and bring the right leg up to the sky, holding behind the thigh. Then take the right elbow to the ground, right, the right hand up in the air, and bring that right leg out to the side so that you're kickstanding the outer right knee with your hand. You can always use a strap for this if the kickstand is providing problems for you today. Keep that left buttock grounded down. Right knee to chest. Bring the left leg in, lengthen the right leg, take the left leg up. Left elbow next to you on the ground for the kickstand and bring the left knee out to the side. Right arm comes straight out to the side. Supta Padangusthasana 2. Not the full pose, but a propped variation. Bring that left knee into the chest and the right knee into the chest and take a little rocking side to side. Give yourself a hug here. If you have time, I recommend legs up the wall, where you lay on your back with your legs up the wall. You can do that for 5 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. And then after that, you come into Happy Baby. You can take the hands either on the outsides of the feet or the insides, whichever you prefer. And if you like, you can rock that side to side. Knees back into the chest. One last hug. Come into Shavasana. I recommend a good 7 minutes at least of Shavasana, 10 if you can. For the purposes of the video, I won't stay in Savasana for very long. Prop any way you like. If you like to place a bolster or a rolled blanket underneath your knees, you can do that. The idea here is to let everything drop. And your mind becomes a witness to your body dropping. Soft eyes, soft jaw, soft throat, soft belly, soft heart. After your 7 minutes, you'll take your right arm overhead and turn to your right side. Press down the left palm to push yourself up. Find a seated position. Ground down the sits bones, feel the crown of the head reaching toward the sky. Take the hands to heart center. Soften the inner corners of the eyes, the temple skin, broaden the cheekbones. And close with one chant of Om. Take an inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all creatures everywhere be happy and free, and may our actions contribute to their happiness and freedom. Namaste. Thanks, guys. See you next time.